Hello students, we have already done the geometrical representation of the zeros of any polynomial. In this, we will learn about how to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial and their relationship between the coefficients of the polynomial. Means we will first find the zeros of any quadratic polynomial, means the highest degree should be 2, and then we will learn what is the relationship between the zeros of that polynomial, the two zeros that we will get, with the coefficients. So let us start. So we will be doing relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. Let us first take the example of any quadratic equation. I'll start with the basic format, that is ax square plus bx plus c. So this is a simple quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c. X square should be there because it is a quadratic polynomial, and x square should be the highest degree. Means in quadratic we cannot have any term having more degree, like power more than 2. So a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is our constant term. So a is coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the coefficient of constant, or we can say it as constant term also. Clear? Now, if it is a quadratic polynomial, so how many zeros can we have at the max? 2. It does 0 related with the degree only. Degree is 2, so at max we will have only 2 zeros. Why I am saying at max? Because the zeros can be equal. Both the zeros can be equal. In that case, we can say that it has only one zero. That is why I am saying at max 2 zeros. Means the zero number of zeros or the values cannot be more than 2. It can be less than 2. And when it is less than 2, when both are equal. And so if there are two zeros, so let's say alpha and beta are the zeros. I'll come to this point also. What do you mean by the zeros? Actually, how do we find the zeros? So let us say alpha and beta are the two zeros. So how can we write actually sum of zeros, that is alpha plus beta is equal to negative coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. So what was the coefficient of x? That is b. So I'll write here minus b. If b is minus 2 suppose, so minus b will become minus of minus 2. Don't think that already there is negative, so we don't have to take it. We have to take it. Minus b upon coefficient of x square is a. Next is product of zeros. Product of zeros means alpha into beta. This is equal to constant upon coefficient of x square. And this is equal to c upon a. Fine. I'll write it again. Means alpha plus beta should be equal to minus b by a, and alpha beta should be equal to c by a. These are the relationship between zeros and the coefficients. See, these alpha and beta are the zeros, and this b, a, and c are these b, a, c. These are the coefficients. So these are the relationship. I will be solving some examples to show you how we use it and how the questions come. And then in the next class, we will solve exercise 2.2. Let us take an example of any quadratic polynomial. Suppose 2x square minus 8x plus 6. This is our quadratic polynomial. First, we will have to find the zeros. And how do we find the zeros? Zeros actually means what? We have to find such a value of x so that when we substitute that value over here, we will get 0 at the end. Means if I write it as let f of x is 2x square minus 8x plus 6. Why I have written f of x? I can take instead of f, I can take any that alphabet. X, why I have written? Because in the question, the variable is X. If it is T, you will write F of T. And in the polynomial, now it is there X only. So I have written F of X. When we substitute any value with X, if suppose I'm substituting 2 over here, in that case, I'll write F of 2. And that will become 2 into 2 square minus 8 into 2 plus 6. This will become 8 minus 16 plus 6. This will become minus 8 plus 6, and that is equal to minus 2. See, when I substituted 2 with x, I didn't get 0. It means what? 2 is not the 0 of this polynomial. So if I substitute any 0 over here, we should get 0 here also. That means the 0 of the polynomial. But we are not getting it in the case of 2, so we have to find the zeros. And we cannot find the zeros using hit and trial method. Means how long you will do it? It can be 1, it can be minus 1, 2, minus 2. So if you are doing hit and trial, it will be a very lengthy process. So there is a method. There are different methods. First one is factorization. It can be in the factorization, you can use midterm splitting. If you can use any identity like a plus b whole square, a minus b whole square, or a square minus b square, we can use that also. In this, all the there I think we cannot use any identity because this is also not the square of any number and this is also not a square of any number. So what we will do, we will do midterm splitting. How can we can do that? First you have to multiply 6 and 2, that is 12, means multiply A and C. Now factorize it. Okay, we have got the factors 2 into 2 into 3. We have to arrange, like get two numbers. When we will multiply two numbers, we should get 12. When we add it, we should get minus 8. So let us try 3 to the 6 and 2. I can get like that. 6 into 2 is 12. Minus 6 plus minus 2 is equal to minus 8. I'll get the numbers. So I can write it as 2x square minus 6x minus 2x plus 6. This is, I'll take 2x common, left with x minus 3. From here, I'll take 2 common. I will be left with x minus 3. From these two, I got this. And from these two, I got this. So I can write x minus 3 common. I will be left with 2x minus 2. Now I want this whole term to be 0. So for fx to be 0, we should get x minus 3. 2x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now tell me, whenever we are multiplying two numbers, when is the chance that we get the answer as 0? If one of the two numbers is 0, then only we can get, when we are multiplying two numbers, we can get 0 that time only. So means either this should be 0 or either that one should be 0. So I can write x minus 3 is 0. In that case, x is equal to 3. Or it is possible that 2x minus 2 should be equal to 0. In this case, 2x is equal to 2. Therefore, x is equal to 1. We got two zeros, x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 1. Now we have to verify this zeros with the coefficients. I can write alpha is equal to 3 and beta is equal to 1. I have to verify the relationship. What was the first thing? Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a. What is alpha? Alpha is 3, beta is 1. So alpha plus beta, I should get 3 plus 1, that is equal to 4. And now let us check what were our coefficients. What is b? A is 2, b is minus 8 and c is 6. So what will be minus b by a? That will be minus 8 by 2. I can write it like this. So this is 4. Minus of minus will become 4. Hence 4 is equal to 4. So this is correct. Now second one, alpha beta should be equal to c upon a. Alpha is 3, beta is 1. C was 6 and a was 2. 2 3s are 6. Again 3 is equal to 3. Hence sum is also equal to negative of b by a and product is equal to c by a. So if both the relationships are like equal, or you can say same, so we can say the zeros that we have got is correct. Okay, so like this we do. First we find the zeros using midterm splitting or using any identity, and after that we can find the relationship between the zeros. Clear? So this is the way, and like this only we will solve exercise, the first main question of exercise 2.2 in the next video. In this we learned about how to find the zeros and how to find the relationship between the zeros and their coefficients. Okay, so we'll do watch my next video. In that we will do questions of exercise 2.2 NCERT maths. And if you're liking it, if you're liking the video, please like and subscribe the channel, so whenever I upload any new video, you'll get a notification about it and you can watch it and not miss any class. Okay.